In this video tutorial, we're going to learn how to make and edit graphics using Microsoft Expression Design. To get to Microsoft Expression Design, you go down to the Start button, click All Programs, Microsoft Expression, and click on Microsoft Expression Design. When you open it, this is the window you will see. And right now I can't do much of anything, so let's create a new document. So go File, New, and here we can name it. So I'm going to name it Banner, because that's one of the things we are required to create for this class. And next you can make the width and the height of your what's called the artboard. For your banner it needs to be 800 by 80. And if you need to change it, just click in there and you can type the dimensions, and then you can leave the resolution at 96 and leave everything at pixels and pixels per inch, and leave the presets as custom. When you click OK, it creates what's called an artboard. So you see this rectangle is your artboard. That's your working space. Up here we have the common toolbar, which if you click on these you can see what each tab allows you to do. Here we have our tabs, and the more documents you open in Expression Design, the more tabs you will have. Over here is what's called our toolbox, and when you hover over each one it tells you what it does. If you notice, some of these have a little white triangle here, so if you right click on it, it tells you can draw a rectangle, draw an ellipse, a polygon, or a line. So that is the toolbox, and this is the artboard area. And over here we have properties. So if I were to draw a rectangle, you notice I have the properties here. You have the fill, which is the black color. You have the stroke, which would be the outline, the border of the rectangle. And you can choose different colors. There's many different properties you can set for as far as the appearance goes. Down here you have layers. Notice we already have one layer, and we also have what's called the action bar down here. This is for the rectangle. It says it's 800 pixels wide by 80 pixels tall. And if you want, right now, if I change this, it will change the height as well because it's locked. So if you don't want them to change together, all you have to do is unlock it and then break that link. Alright, so for your banner, you need to create a banner that's 800 pixels wide by 80 pixels high. And one of the requirements is to have a gradient fill. So in order to have a background color, you need to draw a rectangle around your art box, which we did. Okay, you selected the rectangle tool and you drew a rectangle around it. This arrow, the selection tool, is very useful and you'll use it a lot. You click on that, you see it turn blue, and you have these boxes and handles around your rectangle. But you can also change the color. Again, you don't want to mess with the stroke if you don't want a border, and for your banner you don't need one. But if you wanted to change your border color, you can to red, and you can change the size if you wanted to. Say 12. Now you have a big thick red border. If you want that, that's fine. And the fill color is this black color. So I want to show you some of the things you can do. If you click the down arrow, you have many different color you can choose from. You can choose patterns. You can choose all different kinds of colors. I'm going to stick with the basic colors, and I'm going to choose green. And I want to show you how to do a gradient fill. If you want to do a gradient, which is right here, you roll over, it says gradient. Now you see that it's going from red to yellow. Okay. If you want to change the color, just click on it and you can choose the green. You can also use this eyedropper, which notice it changes So wherever my little dropper is, it'll change to that color. Okay, if I go down here, it changes to the blue. Okay, or you can go up. So I'm going to just go to red, yellow. If you want another transition point, double click on the line and you get another box, and you can change that to blue. So now it's going from red to blue to yellow. You can drag these along to adjust your gradient fill. Okay. You can have radial gradient fill or linear. So let's play around with these properties for now, and to change your fill the way you want it to. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to add text. It's important to use multiple layers. So before I add text, I'm going to add a new layer. If you double click on layer 1, you can just name it rectangle so you know which layer goes to what. And then, yeah, spell it right. And then down here I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to call this layer text. Okay, and then I select the text layer, select the text tool, and I'm just going to type in here. Alright, now I'm going to select the selection tool. I can grab and move, make sure you grab your text, and you can move it anywhere you want. You can also go to arrange and align it wherever you want. Okay, and over here on the layers, if I hide the text, it takes it away. Same with the background. If I click on the eyeballs, if you lock it, that means you can't edit that layer. So that prevents me from dragging the rectangle around. Now I can just play with the text layer. Okay. Over here you can choose the font. So let's choose that. You can change the color to blue or something that will stand out. If you want to add an effect, notice the scroll ball over here. You can add an effect. You have all these different effects you can add. You can make it chrome. If you don't like that effect, you can hide it, or you select it and delete it. You can do a drop, an outer glow, and then you can choose, you can customize your effect by choosing different colors. So if you want the outer glow to be blue, you can do that. You can change the size of it and make it a bigger outer glow. So play with the effects, you can add them. The other fun thing to do is, I don't want that effect, so I'm going to delete it, is over here you can convert object to path, and that gives you little anchors. And one thing you can do with expression design is you can magnify it. So now each one of these little points, if you select on it, let's choose this sub, and that'll allow you to select the point, and you can modify your shape. So you can draw little spikes on your name if you want. So all I did is I chose the direct selection, and after I converted it to a path, so you can kind of morph what this looks like. So if you want to try that, you can. And also, so let me put it back to 100% and quickly review what we went over. So if I click a letter, so you can modify it. Alright, so the first thing we did is we created a new expression design document, made it 800 by 80. Then I chose the rectangle and I drew a rectangle. I chose the colors for my rectangle by selecting the rectangle, and I played with the colors over here. I don't want the border, I'm going to take the border away. Then I showed you how to do a gradient fill. I also showed you over here the different colors you can choose. I showed you how to add an effect. So if I chose my name, you can add an effect by selecting the name, FX, and you can do it dark strokes, you can change it. And then over here is a scroll bar, you can scroll down and you can change the effect. And I also showed you how to convert your object to a path, which allows you to morph your object. So if you have any questions, please ask. And that's it for the introduction to expression design.